So I finished listening to a YouTube video, and it was a message that was sent to me by a person that I consider a New Earth person. And so it had a crazy idea that I hadn't pondered. So I'll share you what that message is, and then I'm going to share with you how I receive that message and what I hold and how I stand in that message. So the message was from a hypnotherapist, and it was a question and answer from a hypnotherapy session where they tapped in, the client tapped in to an event taking place that is like a new earth landscape. And so it was like a channeling message saying, what are you experiencing with this when this new earth event happened? And it was talking about the event. They talked about what the event was. And the event lasted about a week. And it got me thinking, in retrospect, it's very much like a rapture. It was the event was this new energy coming in to this world, and people had a choice that to make on whether they wanted to stay and be part of the new earth, or if they wanted to leave with the rapture. Now, I don't know the specifics of the rapture, but I believe it is the good people would stay, and those that were meant to either go to purgatory or hell. I'm not even sure about that, but this was a different one. It was a much softer idea that it wasn't about good people. It was about ready people. People who actually wanted to experience these new energies and this new way of being. And so I'll give you a little more about the session, which was really good because they went to different places. They would the hypnotherapist, and I can get you the link to this. The hypnotherapist was asking just brilliant questions about what it's like, how they communicate with each other, like what is it they're actually doing within the new world that was coming in. And a lot of it had to do with going far back to the basics, like water, food. There weren't a lot of people around right after, so really the big like, I guess, like the carrot that drew the people was, okay, first thing we gotta do is take care of ourselves. We gotta find water, we gotta find the supplies and the food, the physical food, and then we gotta find each other, because all of the technology that they had been using to communicate was no longer available. So they spent a lot of that time, and then took that person to like 6 months afterwards, where they had found more people and started to communicate more telepathically. Even one of the ideas that I really liked was that there wasn't this great sense. So if we think about, we'd lose all of our loved ones, because a lot of them they saying that the population decreased to 10 to 20% of the population. So a lot of our loved ones chose to not be a part of the new world, but that there was this sense of inner peace with that because they still had a connection with those people from the other side, however you want to say that. And then what it looked like a year after, where they had created these communities, they were all getting together to find out what their part was, like what their role was in the new earth. That leadership wasn't, like people in the control position. All of the government kind of stuff goes away, and it becomes very community based. So when I hear something like this, like there's a couple of part of me that is like, oh my God, I want to be part of something like that. And so there's an excitement. It taps into a lot of inspiration. But there's this other idea that, it's like when I listen to anything that I'm drawn towards, I don't need to like it's more of a feeling and a connection to the feeling of these things, because I can see, and I could even see in the comments, how a lot of people seem to be in this excitement mode, where it's like, I just want this old earth to be done with, and I want to see this new one, and there's a lot of that excitement. And it's like, I have found that to be discombobulating when I hear messages that is like, oh my God, I totally want that. And then I'd go back to listen to the same channeler, and it's like their prediction of when this event would happen just kept getting pushed out. And I kept feeling this sense of, oh, geez, are we ever going to get there? And so it's more like I just allow. I don't need to believe something to be absolutely true. I can just hold on to like what feels good. And there were so many things in that message, that felt so right and so good. Like the fact that I feel very, very, very grounded in allowing people to, whether I am connected to them in relationship and they're my loved ones, it's like I can understand that they may not be a part of my world, and understand that, people just come in and out. We come in and out of this reality, and there's a lot of peace in that. So it's, there's a lot of things that are going to be novel ideas, and the ego is still, you can even catch yourself if you're still just trying to say this is right and that's wrong, and this modality is wrong and this one's right. It's like, now if we're on the basis of the new earth, we're going to be looking to find the foundation within them all. We can find the path to the greater understanding, to the new world. We can find it through our sensory. That's the thing that went offline when we decided to collectively agree that we were going to try out the ego way of being in this world, and now we're going to try something different. And so there's still going to be, and I get a lot of messages on my messages that say, hey, you're an idiot, or, you're a loony, and then just the real basic, egocentric stories that are like, okay, we haven't got past that one yet. Come on now, I have a kind of a funny relationship with that. That when I get negative feedback or people are pushing against, I love to have people challenge my ideas, but you can do it in a positive way, in a creative, let's work together to figure out, how all this stuff fits together. But they're still just the very, very low level ego stuff. But then sometimes, like recently, I got some feedback, and it was very well articulated, all the problems that this person saw in me. And I recognize, I could look through that lens of how they're looking at me, and I can see what they're seeing of me. That isn't me. I know that's not me. I know that's not what's emanating from me, because I know how it feels. They criticize some of the things that I expressed, or how I expressed, and through their lens, it's like I couldn't even see that before. But for me, it felt good, and that's why I post it that way. But from their point of view, they saw it as condescending and smirky, and I'm like, okay, from that point of view, I can see that through me. I just know that that isn't what feels good for me. And so the message in this is that we're moving towards things that feel good to us, and that's our foundation then when we're moving forward. So I thought I'd just share that, and I hope you are having a most amazing day, and be well.